I lost another daughter to homicide in September 2010. It's even in the Lord's Prayer, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. I told her how God had forgiven me of my sin. You said, I told her, if I can forgive you, how much more can God forgive you?
Hello, and welcome to Tribal Trails. Thanks for spending time with us. We attended a conference in Garden Hill, Manitoba, and there Doug Beardy shared his testimony. It was such a blessing to hear what he shared, and we want to share that with you. He talks about something that sounds very sad, but as a Christian, his sadness was turned into joy.
That I have lost 5 of my children, my own children, over the years. It started in 1981, and at that time I wasn't living for the Lord. I was in a backslidden state. When I was 12 years old, under Albert Tate's ministry, when I first gave my life to the Lord, not understanding a lot of things, I went back into the world. And I was living in that state when I feel that God got my attention. And it was in 1981. And we were listening to the gunshots, the church bells ringing. It was New Year's Eve. That's a tradition we used to do a long time ago. That we would ring in the new year by ringing the bells of the church and shooting off guns. As we were standing out there listening to all of this, my friend and I, who I called my brother. I've never had brothers. I have 8 sisters and no brothers, and I adopted him as my brother. And we were standing out there, and he said, you know, we don't know who is not going to make it to the next New Year. Not knowing that 18 days later, I would watch my dad's house burned to the ground with my 5-year-old son in it. And it was that year, that same year, that I enrolled into Bible college at K770 Bible Institute. That's where I met your dad. That's where I met Trevor. He was a little guy. And I remember hearing Arnold Flutt sing for the first time. And it was a song called I Am What I Am.
Who came and made me what I am.
It's a beautiful song, beautiful testimonial song. Reminds them of Trevor, he was just a little boy. And but you know, my life, I wish I could say that my life was good after that. I had the chance to work under the leadership of Bill Jackson. He wanted me to pastor one of the churches after I graduated in Kikino, Alberta. But before we could finish Bible school, during our second year break, I had 1 more year to go. My wife decided to leave right before we went back in September. And But I still wanted to go back. I wanted to learn more. And I called the school. I said, "Can I come back without my wife?" And they said, "No, we can't. The other students have already known you as a family. It wouldn't look right. It wouldn't be." And I understood their reasoning. So I didn't go back that year. And eventually my life just went downhill. And like Satan attacked my family. You know, that's a very important thing, that the family unit. And you know, that's another form of loss. Like when you lose a loved one, Kazakh hits to death, you know, that is painful. But to lose someone who is still living, you know, that's another form of loss that is very deep. And I have a lot of stories of losing loved ones, losing my own children. You know, my life was so bad. I knew it was bad. I wasn't living for the Lord. I wasn't living right. I knew I wasn't. And it was such a miserable life without the Lord. And you know what? I asked God, do you even love me? Do you even care about my life? Proverbs 3:11 says, "My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. For whom the Lord loves, he corrects, even as a father, the son, in whom he delights." You know, I knew that verse, and I was asking God, why are you not chastising me? I lost my daughter from my marriage. 15 months later, I lost another daughter to homicide in September 2010. She was 1 month shy of her 17th birthday, and she had a daughter that was only a month old. And you know, you feel so violated. During the time we were waiting for my daughter's body to come back from Toronto, we heard about this family. One of the girls, her mother, her aunts, her uncles, they were going through such a hard time because of what their daughter did. And I asked my sons, I have 3 sons, I said, what would you think if we went to see this family, to extend our hand in forgiveness? Because, and my oldest son said, it would be good if we went. It's not their fault for what happened. I remember that evening they arranged a meeting. My sons, and we had a whole entourage of people that was supporting us. And I remember pulling up to the church where we were supposed to meet, that family. I saw someone walking back and forth in front of the church, and I saw that person disappear and go inside. I guess she was there to announce that we had arrived.
Everyone has lost someone they love long before it was their time. You feel like the days you had were not enough when you said goodbye. And to all other people, burdens and pains keeping you back from your life. Believe that there's nothing, there is no one who can make it right. There is hope for the helpless, and rest for the weary, and love for the broken hearts. There is grace and forgiveness, mercy and healing. He'll meet you wherever you are. Cry out to Jesus. Cry out to Jesus. Marriage that's struggling just to hang on, lost all their faith and love. They've done all they can, make it right again, still it's not enough. For the ones who can't break addictions and chains, you try to give up, but you come back again. Just remember you're not alone in your shame and suffering. There is hope for the helpless, and rest for the weary, and love for the broken hearts. There is grace and forgiveness, mercy and healing. He'll meet you wherever you are. Cry out to Jesus. Cry out to Jesus. When it's lonely and it feels like the whole world is falling on you, just reach out and cry to Jesus. The widow who suffers being alone, wiping tears from her eyes, where the children around the world without a home say a prayer tonight. There is hope for the helpless, and rest for the weary, and love for the broken hearts. There is grace and forgiveness, mercy and healing that meets you wherever you are. There is hope for the helpless, and rest for the weary, and love for the broken hearts. There is grace and forgiveness, mercy and healing that meets you wherever you are. Cry out to Jesus. Cry out to Jesus.
I ended up going to court. I only went to court twice. I didn't want to relive the whole ordeal again. I didn't really want to hear what happened to my daughter. So I had to go near the end of when the proceedings were done, when the trial was done, I had to go and give my impact statement. The first time they were remanded, it didn't work out, but we went to court. And I was sitting with both mothers of those girls. Growing up, I was taught to forgive. It's even in the Lord's Prayer, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. So I grew up learning how to forgive, how How am I going to forgive this? And I had a friend who's a psychotherapist, a friend of mine in Toronto. And something that she told me, had never crossed my mind. She said, since she was one of the first people that I called when my daughter was murdered. And she said, what I've noticed all these years since your daughter was murdered, I've never heard you getting angry. And I thought about that. And I thought, am I doing something wrong here? Am I supposed to be angry? What happened to me? And am I sleeping with the enemy? Going to court with the mothers of these girls that took my daughter's life? I went to court twice with them. I sat with them. The girls that murdered my daughter, I was, like I said, I was questioning my actions. I was thinking, am I sleeping with the enemy? What am I doing? But I knew in my heart what I had been taught, forgiveness. They got 2 years, and they were out. I kept meeting the one mother at different church services. I kept asking her. I asked her, where is your daughter? Can I meet her? I wanted to give her some form of a message of hope. Because in the Bible it talks about thou shalt not murder. I wanted to give her a message of hope for her eternal destination. I was invited to a church in Mishki-Golgamak, and that's Ausenberg House. That's just a few hours away from where I live. I was invited to go and play bass guitar at a special meeting, at special meetings. And it didn't work out. I want to tell you how God orchestrated all of this. My plans didn't work out. They asked me to take a family to Thunder Bay. Their mother was dying in the hospital that weekend. So I ended up in Thunder Bay, and on Facebook, I saw that there was a special meeting somewhere in the city, and I knew that lady that was live streaming the meetings. And I wrote to her, I said, you guys need a bass guitar player? And she said, yes, we do. Come on down. I went down. I played for the band that was there. And after the service, I saw this lady going out the door, just walking out the door. And I asked my friend, her name is, I said, is that? I recognized her from the back. And she said, yes. And I ran out after her. And I said, is your daughter here in the city? And she said, yes. And I said, I'd really like to meet her. And how God orchestrated that meeting was so, I knew that it was Him. My first priority when I was in Thunder Bay, I was driving this family around. Their mother was dying in the hospital. My first priority wasn't helping at the church. So the guy, the organizer, texted me and said, "We're about to start now. Can you come down?" I said, I'm with this family. I'll try and be done as soon as I can." So I told the family that I was driving around, they wanted to go to the mall. So I went and dropped them off. I said, "I'm going to go back to the hotel room, and I'm going to wait for you to come so I can come pick you up when you're done." And the church service is already starting where I'm supposed to be helping you. You know, on the way back, the church was on the way back to my hotel, and I decided to go to the church anyway. And it's already started. I go up the steps of this church. That is the same church where we met the family that time in 2010. And I'm going up the steps. I'm about to open the door. I'm just reaching for the doorknob, and it opens. And the mother is standing there. And she said, "Oh, there you are. I've been looking for you." And she said, "You see that white car in the parking lot?" She said, "Is in there. This is the girl that married my daughter." And she said, "Do you want to meet her?" And I said, "Yes, I do." I walked over. The mother came with me, and she's sitting in the passenger seat. I think she was a little afraid of me. She rolled the window down, and I said, and she said yes, and I reached out my hands, and I kissed her hand. And she started crying. And all she could say is, "I'm sorry. And I'm so sorry." And I told her how God had forgiven me of my sin, and how I told her about Saul. Saul was a murderer. I told her about Moses. Moses was also a murderer. Yet God used both of them in a mighty way. He said, I told her, if I can forgive you, how much more can God forgive you?
The power of forgiveness, the strength that Doug showed to go and forgive the person who took his daughter's life was tremendous. In the Lord's Prayer it says, "Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us." Forgiveness is not as much for the other person as it is for us. Forgiveness is so we can be right with God. God forgives us, so we are to do the same with those who harm us. You can only truly forgive someone if you have been forgiven by God. Do you have that relationship with Jesus Christ? Some may say, I can never forgive that person. But God forgives you, and He forgives the other person. Just like Doug said, Saul and Moses were both murderers, and He used them in a mighty way. He can use you too. If you would like to know how to invite Jesus into your life and have a relationship with Him, we can help you. Contact us at 306-961-2588. God loves you.
The pain some people bear, no one would believe. The hurt that's sometimes there makes it hard to see that in the darkest hour there is still a way. Listen to these simple words I say. Jesus knows your hurts. Jesus feels your pain. Jesus knows just how you feel, 'cause He's felt just the same. Jesus knows your needs, my friend, better than you do. Just hold on to Jesus. He's holding on to you. Sometimes you feel alone. Does He really care? Has He left you on your own? Does He hear your prayer? He has never left you or forsaken you one day. Listen to these simple words I say. Jesus knows you hurt. Jesus feels your pain. Jesus knows just how you feel, 'cause He's felt just the same. Jesus knows your needs, my friend, better than you do. Just hold on to Jesus. He's holding on to you. Just hold on to Jesus. He's holding on.